everyone. Welcome to Work Love Wednesday. Daisy and Smelter here for Work Love Wednesday. It is time for Work Love Wednesday. Hi, Facebook. How are we all doing today? I'm gonna try going live on Instagram as well. Let's see if we can do this. Checking connection. Oh, we're live on Instagram too. This is pretty sweet because I've been wanting to have it on both, and now I do have it on both. So we are at 10:28, and this is Work Love Wednesday. The only thing is you can't. The glare in my glasses is pretty bad, and I don't like that. So, but that's okay. That's all right. So yeah, we're here at Work Love Wednesday. I got a couple of things that I want to chit chat about. You can see that up in the corner in the description, talking about siblings and intention, because it is a brand new year, and I'm like swapping back and forth because of where the cameras are between Instagram and Facebook, but this is pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited. So I hope you had an amazing New Year's. I know that for us, it's pretty low key. We kind of just chill out. If you have Netflix, my girls love those fake. I'm gonna take off my glasses because then they don't have that weird glare in my whatever. But if you have Netflix, they have these like fun kitty countdown things, which are pretty awesome. And my kids like to do all of them, and we do Cheers at about 9:30 because they can't stay up past then. So we did that for New Year's, and then I did make it up to midnight, and then Cheers, and then went to bed. But New Year's Eve traditionally has been like a pretty low-key event for me and my husband, and we like to keep it that way because life is really chaotic and really busy. So what else? Oh, this past week I got to do one of those year in review posts. I see a lot of people who do them, and I kind of wanted to. I first jumped on the train because of Instagram and wanting to do those nine images, the best of 9 for 2018. And when I started doing that, I was like, wow, there's more than just 9 that I really want to highlight, and I really want to pay appreciation to 2018. So I started writing this blog post with the intent of having it released on New Year's Eve. It took a little bit longer, basically took like a day and a half. And then even after I posted, there were grammatical errors, which you'll know that if you ever try to get a blog post perfect, that's totally impossible. And you're supposed to just post it, which is what I did. But regardless, what's happening is I got this blog post out. It was a lot more work than I anticipated, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then as soon as I hit the post page, Josh messaged me and he was like, way to not have me in any of your images for your 2018 review. That's not my fault that he's not in those pictures. He was in the memories. But maybe he should get in some of the pictures, the really cute pictures, because there was pictures with him, but there were better pictures without him. So, and in some of them, he took the pictures. And for most years, I am the one who is taking the pictures and not in them. So usually it is all these images with not me in them. So this is one of the first years that I am in a lot of the pictures, which I think is pretty awesome. Yeah. So as always, if you are hopping on or watching later, make sure you say hello because they don't tell me who's watching. And any questions that you have that you want to, or suggestions for next week's topic, please let me know. But every Wednesday, we're here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, on Instagram, doing talking about Work Love Wednesdays, talking about doing things to take care of ourselves, to professionally develop ourselves, to make sure that we stay on that path to continue doing the work that we love. And if you're like me, which is probably why you follow, is because you're a passionate professional and we want to stay being a passionate professional. We want to sustain that, and that's really hard today and to do today in today's world. So, one of the things I want to talk about is as we were talking about being grateful for the holiday season and things that really kind of brought that to the forefront, my brother is visiting from California. And he's been basically out in California since I came back from college. And it really is very interesting, especially now that my girls are growing up and they're in this big fight stage. They're fighting all the time. All the time they're fighting. But one of the things that I, bring to mind is when my brother and I would fight, because we fought a lot as children as well. But I definitely took that relationship for granted. I just always assumed that my brother would be around in some kind of capacity, that he would always be accessible. And then when he moved to California and he stayed out in California, there were a couple holidays where maybe we saw him, maybe we didn't. Now he usually comes home for the holidays. But it's just not the same. It's not the same as having your annoying little brother always accessible to just banter with and joke around with. And it's not to say that we were best friends as kids, because I wouldn't say that. I definitely think that we were close in certain capacities. But one of the things that I just have noticed as becoming an adult is the time that I get to spend with my brother. I really, truly value, and it's really important to me. And this holiday season, I didn't know if it was going to happen because he missed not one, but 2 airplanes. And I'm sure he's not going to watch this video, so he won't know because he doesn't really hang out on Facebook. But, and that was just because of oversleeping and weird kind of circumstances. But for a period of time, I thought he wasn't going to make it back for the holidays. And it really bothered me because I really like seeing my brother for the holidays. It really means a lot to me. And so if you have a sibling and they're local, don't take them for granted. Spend time with them. With family, I sometimes know it's a love-hate kind of mix where it's very irritating. But it's something about that dynamic that is not easy to replace. I know Mary Rose just came back from Alabama and she spent time with her family. And I loved watching all the posts that she had on Facebook of them spending time together because they're just so close-knit and they make the most of every moment that they have together. And I think that is a prime example of what all of us should do, is make the most of those moments, and knowing that we don't know if there's going to be one tomorrow. We don't know the next time we're going to see somebody. And I hope that my girls, and I keep reminding them and instilling that in them, that because I think my mom said to me when I was younger, and of course I didn't believe her, but really noticing that, you don't know where everyone's life path is going to take them. You always assume that you'll end up in a similar spot, in a similar place, but you don't know that. You don't know that at all. And so Maddie and Zoe could end up together, living in York County for the rest of their life. They could end up one traveling the world and the other one being in York, or they could be on different sides of the country and I might not even see them. And so that adds a whole nother dynamic to it, is just being present, enjoying those moments, and not always feeling or knowing or believing that there's a guarantee that there's going to be a next one. So that was a huge kind of lesson to me. And just like a funny kind of sidebar. So going back to Netflix, because we kind of hang out on Netflix a lot, but they also this past weekend released the Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour video. And my girls are big Taylor Swift fans. They love Taylor Swift. I don't think that they fully understand who Taylor Swift is, but they really enjoy her music. And they have it playing on repeat or always requesting it in the car. So we let them watch the stadium tour video, and it created these really interesting conversations about famous people and superstars, and Zoe kind of has no interest in it, all the attention that's associated with it. She likes the music, she likes the dance, but the whole idea of fame, at least right now at 4, is not appealing to her. Madeline, on the other hand, likes attention, is very fascinated by this whole idea of superstardom, where people will do everything for you, including your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, and has been questioning a lot, what are the paths to stardom or fame? And so just looking at how different they are in that conversation even reaffirms kind of my earlier comments about, you don't know where everyone's life path is going to take them. And sometimes you won't have access to those people anymore. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about each other or love each other anymore, but they just won't be as accessible, and people will just get more and more busy. And I'm sure we can all relate to that everyone gets so busy in life that sometimes a year goes by and then you realize you haven't even had lunch to catch up. So just be more mindful of that. So talking about intention, so there's a lot of conversation with the new year about resolutions. There's the gyms are, from my understanding, very packed right now because we've got lots of New Year's health resolutions. And but then there's this other conversation about setting an intention and driven by feeling. And if you follow Danielle Laporte, she is the one who created the Desire Map process and the book, The Desire Map, which talks about being guided by feeling and that entire process, which is a beautiful one. So if you want to check that out, please do. But this morning, as I was doing my morning kind of scroll while drinking my coffee on Facebook and Instagram, I saw a quote that was posted by Raya, who is my yin yoga instructor, and it really summed up almost perfectly my thoughts and the way that I take in the new year and the concept of resolutions and moving away from that and more so to intention. And so here's this quote. It says, "Ditch the resolutions. To resolve means to find a solution to a problem. You are not a problem. The way you showed up for your life the past year was necessary for your growth. Now is the time to reflect, to learn, to create an intention, a positive call to shift, a spark of magic and manifestation, rooted in self-love and backed with action." And so the one part in this that really spoke loudly to me is saying, you are not a problem. The way you showed up for your life the past year was necessary for your growth. And I think that's something really important for all of us to always remember, is that whatever happened in the past year, whatever will happen this year, was necessary for us to grow, for us to keep moving forward. And that's in every aspect of our life, whether it's health, whether it's mind, whether it's spirit. What we view as setbacks or failures, and there was one that I talked about in my year review blog post, it is more than that. What we're talking about and those things that we view as setbacks or we think that are failures for us, they're actually what we needed so that we can grow. And so I know that we don't like to think about having challenges or having struggles. And if we could, we want to live a life full of joy at all given moments of the day, and I, myself included. But knowing that challenges are necessary for our growth, we have to be pushed. And so even like if we think about this gym kind of metaphor, because everyone's going to the gym in January, as I was working with my personal trainer, as things would get easier or more comfortable, he would modify the program to adjust it and make it more challenging. And that's something that constantly had to happen for the body to grow, for the body to heal, for me to get stronger. And that's no different with the other aspects of our life. So now is a time to reflect. And I think this is probably my biggest takeaway from going through yin yoga teacher training, which I'm still in the process of finalizing, but that winter is a yin period of life. It's the yin season. It's a time of reflection. It's a time to go inward. We see that all throughout nature, how nature kind of shuts down. They hibernate. They're reflecting. It's that time. And it's time to reflect, to learn, and then to create an intention, a positive call to shift, a spark of magic and manifestation. And when I think of intention, I think of a feeling. I think of a feeling that I want to strive for, because that's what it's all about. My intention, my word for 2019 is connected. Because when I feel connected, everything else makes sense. And when I feel connected, it's to this level that my body feels like it is vibrating. My hands feel tingly. And when I think of being connected, it's being connected to the people that mean the most to me. It's being connected to what I think is my purpose or my passion. All those things all coming together is me being connected. And that's my intention for 2019. But that feeling in that intention is what's going to allow me to create positive shifts in my life. It's creating this positive call of me wanting more of that feeling. And that feeling is almost, it's a spark of magic. It feels magical as I'm pursuing it. And as we have that focus on positive energy, here comes manifestation. I mean, if you want to talk manifesting, the power of the manifestation, if you've read The Secret or anything like that, you know, it's the positive vibes that we have to embrace fully that allow us to have that manifesting power. And how do we ensure that we have that positive focus and energy? Is by having a positive feeling that is guiding us, that is our intention and moving us forward. And so I think that that is really important, is not only what is your intention for the year, but what does it feel like? So if your intention is focus, what does it feel like when you're focused? And knowing it really well. If your intention is to get healthy, what does it feel like to be healthy in your body? This whole mantra for my wellness has gone from, I used to believe this, but I heavily came from a background in the family where we lived to eat. Eating was one of our main social functions. Going out and eating amazing food was awesome. And it has shifted for me from live to eat to live, because different foods make my body feel differently. And I'm not just talking about processed versus wholesome foods, but there's certain foods that just don't make me feel good, like tomatoes do not digest very well for me and cause like serious heartburn in the middle of the night, so they interrupt my sleeping cycle. So I avoid tomatoes for like the latter half of the day. But I've noticed the way that they're making me feel. So if your intention is to get healthy in 2019, how do you feel healthy? What does that feel like in your body? So intention connected to feeling. I'm a huge believer. I think feeling is the guide for us, and it helps a goal come to life on a whole new level. And I can't reiterate more how this quote sums up. It says it's rooted in self-love and backed with action. So rooted in self-love, at the core of anything that you're doing has to be taking care of you. We always want to be in service for others. I shouldn't say that. Most of us, a lot of us, like to be in service to others. But we have to have this selfish element, because if we don't take care of ourselves, nothing else matters. If we don't take care of ourselves, there is no tomorrow. There is no being able to do these amazing things. And so we have to have self-love and self-care. And then on top of that, the action piece is just holding true to it and doing it. We have to make it happen. We have to see that happen. So once again, this quote totally, jump-started my reflection this morning. Obviously, I wanted to share it with you, which kudos so much to Raya for sharing this. But here it is again. Ditch the resolutions. To resolve means to find a solution to a problem. You are not a problem. The way you showed up for your life the past year was necessary for your own growth. Now is a time to reflect, to learn, to create an intention, a positive call to shift, a spark of magic and manifestation, rooted in self-love and backed with action. So those are my Wednesday words of wisdom. Happy 2019, and I will talk to you next week. See ya.